I just saw Late Night with the Devil, and boy, Captain Howdy, this one was a blast. This is a film mockumentary where the open of the film presents itself as a documentary that shows you a broadcast of a late night talk show, Night Owls, hosted by Jack Delroy, played by David Dastmalchian. I think I'm saying that last name right. The show that is Night Owls is a show that's fallen off, never hitting top ratings, and its host Jack, who has his own personal setbacks as well. The film wastes no time in setting up the film that when it transitions into the Fable episode of Night Owls, it perfectly primes you to believe in what the film is showing you. Through its pretty authentic presentation, you get sucked right into this episode, always edging for what you already know is going to be a wild end. As the film progresses, so does the atmosphere and tension. Things start to reveal themselves, and so do the characters that made the main story engaging. So much so that I honestly didn't really mind when sections of the film breaks its own aesthetic framing because I was so invested in the story. Hats off to the Cairnes. I know I said that weird. I can't understand how to say their name without adding some kind of weirdness to it because everything I looked up is Australian and Australians talk Australian-y. But because there's so much attention to detail and Easter eggs that when you find some of those details it felt rewarding or made you question certain things that would add to its rewatchability. Trying to find every split second frame and foreshadowing that added to the dread but also the excitement as well. David Dastmalchian gives one of my favorite, if not my favorite performance by him in this film. He was absolutely Oscar worthy here. Every performance here is good as well. I also thought Ian Bliss as the skeptic was really great. I love the look and the aesthetic of the show. I think it's where this film is running on full steam, is when it's just letting you kind of sink into that atmosphere. We have commercial breaks that show the behind the scene moments, which is where I feel like the film loses some of the aesthetic framing, which is something that honestly might bother me a lot more on a second viewing. There's a moment with no spoilers towards the end of the film that really messed with my head and made me completely rethink the entire film, which I thought was awesome. It's something that makes me excited to actually give this film a rewatch, since going into it kind of knowing what happens, I do kind of wonder just how much knowing what happens will color my rewatching experience, which I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. I honestly cannot wait to rewatch this one. I'm definitely going to be watching it pretty soon when it shows up on Shudder if I have time. The whole element of like the live late night TV show feels very authentic down to the corny jokes that helps you get sucked into the film's atmosphere. I honestly don't really remember any of the music in the film besides the opening banger Forever My Queen by Pentagram. Honestly, the film should get a 10 out of 10 just for doing that. But outside of that and the talk show band, I honestly don't remember any other music at all. I honestly couldn't tell you if there was music or not during the show, and I honestly, looking back, kind of hope there isn't. Overall, honestly, this film just really worked for me all around. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. It's one of those ones that could go up or could easily go down also on a second watch, but I genuinely can't wait to watch this one again. So I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I am curious to what your thoughts were on Late Night with the Devil, so feel free to comment what you thought about the film down below, and you can subscribe for more reviews. If you want to support what I do, you can consider becoming a Patreon or a member. Bye everybody.